Hi guys, we're going to go ahead and read chapter 23 of Genevieve's War. So the last chapter that we read, Genevieve realized that Katrin had been the one who had been telling about Remy, and when she confronted her, Katrin said that she had also told Leanne and Claude, and so Genevieve said, "That's it, I'm not talking to you ever again." And now we've got to figure out who actually is the person who betrayed Remy. Maymay was outside, her hair wet, her jacket soaked, staring at the field, which was only now beginning to thaw. "Come inside," I said. She looked up, wiping her hands on her apron, and she went across the gravel path into the kitchen. I tossed my coat and hat on an empty chair and my books on the countertop. "I've done something terrible," I said. She slid the tea kettle over the flame and stood there, waiting for the water to boil. "You're not paying attention to me. I've done something terrible." She turned. "How can I not pay attention to you, Genevieve? You are everywhere. Your books, your clothes, even your bathrobe can be found in every room of this house." She pulled two of the Strasbourg cups from the armoire. "In the beginning," she said, "I thought I'd go out of my mind. An old woman used to a neat house, to a quiet house. Instead, I have dishes in the sink. There's clattering on the stairs, doors slamming." I bent my head. I wanted to tell her that at home, our house wasn't like a tomb, that Aunt Marie sang, recited poetry in French, that sometimes I had friends over and we made fudge. I didn't say anything. I didn't have time. Maymay put the steaming water in front of me. "But after a while, I remembered your father, the noise that he made, the messes." I closed my eyes. His notebook with the terrible marks, the doodles, the list of his classmates, Suzanne the Tattletale, the initials GM cut into the attic floor, my father, meringues his favorite. "I told Katrin everything," I said, "and she told Leanne and Claude. It's my fault, all of it." I swiped at the tears running down my cheeks. Maymay bent her head so I could see the stiff part in her hair. "Sometimes things happen that we never expected, that we never thought about," she said slowly. "But the important thing is to begin again." She went into the hall and brought back my father's picture. "You see how sad he looks? He had to leave everything he loved. Some of our friends had been taken away, but he had managed to escape and would cross the country to Spain." Her lips were unsteady. "And then to America." Sad? All the times I'd looked at the picture, grim, angry, unfriendly, miserable, never once had I thought sad. But there it was exactly, his dark eyes staring out, his hands clenched. My Alsatian father, Gerard, sad. That day, Philippe took his picture with a box camera so I'd have something to remember him by. Gerard blamed himself. "I must have told someone, Mama," he said. Maymay shrugged her thin shoulders. "We never knew who it was." I ran my fingers over the picture. I knew how he felt. If someone took a picture of me now, they'd see the same sorrow, the same grief. "Drink your tea without tea," Maymay said. "Raise your head." I couldn't drink. I couldn't speak. My throat felt as if it were closing. "It is useless to blame yourself." Her voice was harsh. "There's much more to this than Katrin." I glanced at her. I could almost count her bones. Her dress hung loosely around her. She weighed less than I did and only came to my shoulder. "We do what we can," she said. And what she could do was run this farm by herself. She had worked in the resistance during the Great War. In this war she had sheltered Remy. She had taken in a girl who was forgetful and messy, who hadn't loved her. She must have known what I was thinking. "A girl who changed my life," she said. "A girl who looked like me when I was young, who acted like the son I loved." Her arms went across the table. I could see the veins running through her small hands. I reached for them, held them in mine. We sat there not speaking. Then she gave my hand a quick pat and picked up her cup. "Drink, child," she said. "Your tea is getting cold." And that's what I did. I raised the cup to my mouth. The water was still hot, comforting. I sipped it slowly. We do what we can, she'd said. And so I was determined to find Remy. All right, keep checking back. I'll read chapter 24 next, and we'll see if we can find Remy. I miss you guys.